Hey everyone, Turkey's currency, the Turkish Lira, has fallen steadily in value against the dollar over the last 10 years. However, just in the last year alone it has fallen 45%, and the majority of this has fallen only in the last 3 months. Having said that, yesterday we saw the Lira bounce back and rally a steep 20% after President Erdogan's announcements on new measures to battle inflation and volatile currency changes. So what has caused the rapid weakening of Turkey's Lira? Why are Erdogan's policies seen as controversial, and is the Lira finally seeing a light at the end of the tunnel? Let's dive in. But first, as a backdrop, the Republic of Turkey is a country in Western Asia, home to about 84 million people. Its president, Erdogan, came to presidency in 2014 and leads the conservatively positioned Justice and Development Party, or AKP in Turkish. So why has inflation been a problem? Well, there are a number of reasons. Firstly, although Turkey in some areas is self-sufficient, has a strong tourism industry and produces its own goods in some sectors, it is highly dependent on imports. It in fact imports a lot more than it exports, leading to something called a trade deficit, which in the long term reduces the power of its currency, as we have seen over the years. Reduced purchasing power means the price of everyday things increase, which leads to greater inflation. Now, to fight inflation over the years, Turkey has attracted much in the form of foreign investment and loans. However, one of the problems is that much of this has been invested into things like skyscrapers and construction, things that are nice to have but don't necessarily produce a hard return on investment if other factors aren't involved, like the actual businesses to occupy these buildings. As a result, there is an even greater decline in currency power. In addition, what doesn't help is Erdogan's seemingly poor leadership, reflected quite prominently in 2018 when he hired his son-in-law, perhaps nepotistically, to head Turkey's Treasury and Finance Ministry, sidelining other capable and qualified ministers. Although the country's GDP and economy grew quite a bit this year, and in the last quarter around 7.4%, this is cancelled out by their ongoing battle with spiralling inflation set to hit a massive 25% this quarter. Everyday people are feeling the effects of this weakening currency the most, with many on minimum wage having to save for months just to buy, say, a smartphone, something many developed countries take for granted. And lots of their citizens have actually exchanged their lira for US dollars or even cryptocurrency as a safer bet. What also didn't help was the global pandemic and the consequent supply chain crisis. Now, inflation has been a problem for most of the world, and most countries, in order to curb the effects of inflation, have raised interest rates. Erdogan, however, insists that lowering interest rates is going to help beat inflation. Let's look at this in more detail. Now, this is quite a complex matter and there are a lot of factors involved, but generally speaking, lower interest rates means people can borrow more. If they borrow more, it means that they can spend more. More spending means that there is more demand, and if there is greater demand or a greater demand than supply, then you guessed it, prices can afford to rise, leading to increased inflation. On the other hand, higher interest rates means that people borrow less and inadvertently save more. If they are saving more, they are not spending as much, and there is a lesser demand than supply. Prices tend to fall, leading to decreased inflation. Now, as I said, a lot of countries have decided to raise interest rates in order to try and keep inflation contained. An example of this was the UK, who just a few weeks ago raised interest rates from 0.1% to 0.25% in order to attempt to battle a 5% inflation rate. President Erdogan, however, has an unorthodox view on this. He believes the opposite, that lower interest rates stimulate growth and strengthen currency, which in turn reduces inflation. In fact, he once called interest rates the mother and father of all evil. His views also stem from Islamic finance beliefs that seek to avoid high interest rates at all costs. But as you can see, this hasn't really gone to plan for him. Yet he continues to drop interest rates in a gamble that this will turn things around eventually, which is perhaps another reason why inflation has continued to be a problem for Turkey. Now, only time will tell, but in my opinion, the future looks bleak. I hope this catches you up to the current currency crisis Turkey faces, and if you're watching this from Turkey, my heart goes out to you and all those who are in the thick of it and struggling to keep afloat. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please do subscribe to my channel and give it a like. Take care everyone, I'll see you all soon.